Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Laura at Hyperstamper. I was able to get enough antique ephemera to put together my last Thanksgiving and autumn themed journal for this year. This is a book that was given to me by a friend. She thought I could make something wonderful out of it, and it's perfect for Thanksgiving. Look at this, historic pilgrimages in New England, and we've got a pilgrim on the front, a beautiful spine. It's just wonderful. So I didn't want to touch this very historic and very old book cover. So I just added a little teeny tiny bit of cord to the top and some gentle ribbons. And one thing that I thought was fun is I have this antique buckle here. So I added the buckle because it reminded me of the pilgrims buckles that they wore on their shoes down here. So I thought that was kind of fun. So let's take a little look through this beautiful book before it goes up in my Etsy shop, hyperstamper.etsy.com. And of course, every single page and insert and tuck and surprise inside is authentic antique and vintage ephemera. You'll see this one was inscribed in 1899. It was actually published in 1898. And these are the first pages of the book here, which are just a wonderful little piece of history themselves. So I kept them in. We've got Plymouth Rock here and the vessels that brought over the pilgrims. This is actually a 1925 piece. It's not Thanksgiving related, but it's beautiful. So I did add it. This is a gorgeous botanical page from a vintage botanicals book with fall leaves in it. And then this wonderful, wonderful image of the Constitution, the vessel that also brought some of the pilgrims over. And then I've got here this wonderful little story about a Thanksgiving dinner. And beside it is a 1950s Betty Crocker recipe. I just love it. It's turkey dinner. You gotta have it, right? And this is a beautiful little postcard. Again, it's not that it's Thanksgiving related, but it is so old. It is pre-1905. So I just wanted, I have to have a postcard in every single journal I do. So there you go. Another page from a different, I used about 12 different books to get the ephemera for here. So this one is The Landing of the Pilgrim Fathers, and a beautiful little poem here. I love it. I made a little pocket here. This is a 1940s theater arts page. And then over here is this here, it says, how far can you throw a handkerchief without knotting or folding it? A little game that children would play back in the 20s. So I'm actually going to tuck a hanky into here. This is the Song of Thanksgiving from a vintage music book, and I turned this into a pocket. And in here I have this wonderful page. It's a hard cardstock page from the 20s, but we've got the pilgrims here. And then these are color supports. And again, because the pilgrims had these fantastic colors, I thought that was kind of cool to put in there with it. So I'm going to tuck that back into the pocket here. And on the flip side is A Good Thanksgiving. So another little story from a different book. I believe that one is Gateways to Bookland. So let's put this back in here. This is not Thanksgiving related, but I thought many people are thankful first and foremost for their families. So I thought that was just a little something special. And in here, I have another pilgrim hat down here. And then children jumping in the leaves in the fall. Little squirrel up in the tree in the fall. Just fantastic. Oh, I love it. I just hand stamped a leaf down here. And these, I did fall out of an antique book. And they were perfect. I've had them around. I was always worried that they were too brittle to use, but I really glued them down there. A lot of glue went into those leaves. Another one of these 1930s pages, and just some vintage accounting pages there. A vintage dictionary page, and this was torn in the book, but I was able to save this much of it. So we've got the pilgrims there on the beach. Some children playing in the leaves here from a vintage book. This is also the vintage front page from an old antique book with the acorns and leaves. I thought that was perfect for the fall. And look at this little image here, sitting down to their turkey dinner. And this here is just a jack-o'-lantern. It's the flip side of A Good Thanksgiving story here. This just because I try to put in a crochet page in all of my books as well. And then this here is just a lovely fall scene. Look at that, from the very early 1900s from a children's storybook. And then over here we have the National Monument at Plymouth. Look at that. That's the original page from this book as well. This I just pulled from a 1959 magazine. Look at the pilgrims here walking through the snow. And on the other side is actually a turkey dinner at Christmas. So you get both holidays in that piece. And then this little teeny tiny poem down here pulled from a 1920 book, Autumn Fires. It's kind of pretty. And another 1920s book page here on leaves. And then up here is another fall scene from that same children's book with those beautiful oranges and greens. And then another 1920s leaf studies pages there. Some vintage paper here. And then this is another page from another school book I got here. We've got the pilgrims coming in from the water, landing. And then this is a beautiful little poem about November. And then a song of Thanksgiving on the other side here. This is great. It's so wonderful. And I think this would be a really great journal to write things you're thankful for because it is Thanksgiving. Now, this was the cover of a book that I could not use. It was too destroyed. But there's this pilgrim lady here. So I turned it into just a little bookmark. You can journal on it or just have fun with it. I use it as a bookmark. Some Pearl Shops receipt here for journaling on. Again, you can list all the things maybe that you're thankful for being able to shop for. And this is just, it was a flip side of another page that's Thanksgiving themed here. And then I made this pocket here. Got more images here that remind me of Thanksgiving. And there it is, the Mayflower. And this is a page from the original book here that I'm using. And I left it all in one piece because I thought it was historically important not to tear that piece up. And just a wonderful mockingbird here. And this is from 1959, and it's just some really wonderful fall children's knitting. Kind of cool. And more antique pages on leaves here. And this here is not antique, but I did make it, and it is eco printing. So it's got, you can see the leaves there, and it's just beautiful. I used onion skins, and oh, I forget what the other, I used so many different things. But mostly onion skin on that one. Isn't that beautiful? So this is the last one I have, and I've been keeping it, and then I finally just thought, you know what, it should be in a fall autumn journal. And there is a vintage or antique stamp there from Romania. So there you have it. I hope you love it as much as I loved making it. Visit soon, and you can find this in my Etsy shop, hyperstamper.etsy.com. Don't forget to subscribe.